Hey guys, this is John.
In Austin.
This is another episode of the Meatgistics podcast brought to you by Waltons. So we've probably got a truncated one for you today. We've had a lot going on here, in and out of the office most of the day. So real quick, before we get to Meat Matters, let's discuss how your all-meat diet is going.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Good.
Oh, you got to be
did
more
not know
excited.
that? No. No. Okay.
As he
Just-
looks to his sister
yeah,
in
looking
the,
off in
in the
distance. My
rafters.
sister is our in
Auditor today. She's
in
auditing the class.
studio audience.
Sure.
I don't know. Live
Yeah.
audience. What do you call that?
Here you go.
But so yeah, I got trying to make a long story short, got some issues, gut and health issues, and just finished some meds and changing diet and trying to not eat certain things that I looked at and I'm like, that's really hard and it stresses me out trying to figure out what I can and can't eat. So I'm like, I know I can eat meat, and so I'm just eating meat. That's it for the last like 2 weeks. Almost not quite 2 weeks, 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks. But it's great. I mean, I eat great food. It's all great to eat. I still don't feel good. But I want to say that I'm getting better.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know. But the worst part about it is I'm not supposed to eat a lot of seasoning. So
What?
I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to do mostly salt and pepper. Eating some other stuff as long as it's not like crazy. There's what I do the other night. I did this is forbidden. I used a non-Walton seasoning. Tahine. You know what tahine is?
I do.
So tahine, that's like, it's great. There's nothing bad in that at all. At least stuff that I'm not supposed to be eating. So I coated pork chops in tahine. That was a killer decision. That was amazing.
Killer in a good way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hold on. Wait a minute. It murdered my gut. Yeah, here's the tahine talking right now.
That's what I was thinking.
No, tahine's not really that spicy. It's more sour than spicy.
But if you haven't had anything but salt and pepper in a while, putting anything else in is going to cause issues.
Yeah, maybe. But I guess the next worst part is I had to deal a lot with like other people eating things. The rest of my family's mostly been kind of following along. We have other things with dinner. They just eat that. I eat more meat. But like tonight, they want to go to friend's house to eat pizza, and I'm like, yeah, I won't be eating that.
What kind of pizza?
I don't know. I don't know. When we go to this friend's house, usually Papa Murphy's.
Well, that's easy to turn down.
Well,
no
destroys
pizza's
me
easy
anyway.
to turn down. But so I just know, like, yeah, I'm either gonna eat burgers or pork chops before or after. So kind of disappointing. But on the other hand, it's not like you're eating bad food. It's just kind of don't get the full experience of life with all the goodness.
Can you have mustard?
Yeah.
Okay. So get a bunch of like stone ground mustard, and that's awesome on burgers. Like just cook regular burgers, chop them up in little pieces, dunk each one in stone ground mustard. I do that a lot.
Yeah.
That's
That's great.
fun.
I mean, like when I eat though, like I eat like a pound of meat at a time.
Sure, you have
It's
to.
fantastic. And I'm even doing that. Like I'm eating like a lot of food, but still just because it's I'm also getting rid of just other crap inside me.
Yeah.
Literally.
Literally, yes.
Too much information. But I've lost like 11 pounds in the past like 10, 14 days.
So how much?
So a lot of it's like just fake weight, but I'm not bloated. I was getting so bloated. It was bad. Feel just a lot better getting rid of all that.
Okay.
So
How much do you think you weigh right now?
Of
this
course.
morning I weighed 197 this morning.
So he already weighed himself. So
Look at that. Nice.
What do you weigh this morning?
I would guess 205.
Haha.
That'd be my guess. That's a pure guess.
Now, I am more muscular than you, so I don't know how this would really equate. But as long as I weigh less than you, I'll be happy.
Oh, okay. Okay. Do a body composition test, I guess, where they test like the amount of muscle versus.
I bring
fat
my
you have.
scale in, and it'll do it. Do you not?
Those things don't work.
They're close. They're close.
They are not. They'll get your BMI, right? But it's not reading the amount of fat on your body through your feet. Like that is not. a thing.
I can do it on my watch too.
Sure.
And they, the things, I mean, they're not. Yeah.
You need something
If
called
it
a
says-
DEXA scan for that.
Yeah.
Your watch can't do a DEXA
I know
scan.
it's not totally accurate. It's like, it's like playing hand grenades. You just got to get close. We're not trying to hit a bullseye on our dartboard.
Which we did, by the way, at the very end of yesterday's live stream.
Yep.
Yeah. Did it actually catch
Yeah, I
the
think it was-
actually on the end?
It
of
might
the
not have-
video?
It's green. Maybe let us know because it's on there. I think on mine. So
Oh, okay.
I haven't reviewed it. So
Okay.
Oh wait, no, because the what
It did- it
recorded,
ran out.
It ran out of disk.
Yeah,
space,
it ran out
so.
of disk space, so we don't have it.
Good. So we don't have video proof of you
of me
getting
hitting the bullseye. Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, so Austin's doing that.
Are you still on carnivore
so
or
I'm-
modified carnivore?
Well, I mean, it's modified carnivore in that I'm drinking beer.
You ate pizza last night, though,
I
didn't you?
I ate some Poppler's pizza, but that was like the first thing I've had that's not either just like sausage, steak, or hamburger in weeks. So, and I didn't feel bad, honestly, after. Oh, no, that's not true. Liz last Friday brought in Carriage Crossing cinnamon buns.
Mhm.
I murdered one, went home and slept like legitimately 12 hours. Like my body was like, oh my God, carbs, you need to go to bed now. And then I woke up the next morning, had the best workout I've had in a long time.
Just
My body needed
re-energize
it.
your glucose levels. or
My body
something?
needed that.
Yeah.
So maybe I need to rethink some of this. But I was feeling like starting to feel better and starting to feel a little less cloudy. So I think that's the main advantage that I've seen every time I've gone to like a mostly carnivore diet. It's not even necessarily like a body change.
I'm just thinking of things. Sorry.
Can you
He's
see?
trying to check
Do you
his
have notes?
site.
yeah,
He's
notes,
cheating.
for
He's
sure.
got
No, yeah, checking my site. I was thinking, about how you feel different on stuff. And I was thinking about this earlier, but then I didn't really pay attention. So I had to check real quick. Do you get like little eye floaties?
I get less of them now.
I don't have eye floaties
Yeah.
now that, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the things. I was out fishing months and months ago. We had one warm day in the very early, well, it was late winter. And I was like, why do I have so many eye floaties? And I was like, oh, that's right. I remember the last time I did this, like an all carnivore diet, those went away. So,
Which is nice because I sometimes get so many that like it, doesn't block your vision,
No,
but
but you-
it's in the way.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And that's probably something like with all of that sugar in your system, whatever that is, it's a living thing, has more that it can feed on.
You know, if
And
you
it-
became a nutritionist like we wanted you to, you could.
I could be,
you'd
I could
tell
be done in
us
3 months.
The right answer.
Yeah. Maybe that should be like, I shouldn't even bring this up because I was maybe was gonna kind of start wearing the little hair piece today,
No, that's right.
and this morning got blown up.
Yeah,
That
that's
didn't
fair.
happen.
That would not have been.
Yeah, but the next time we make a bet, maybe the loser has to go through and
Like
become a,
a 3 month
nutritionist.
study.
3
Yeah,
months.
something.
That would be so hard, though.
And you have to pass. You have to pass.
Well, I
or,
ha-
or do it again.
Well, it's funny
I
we're
like
talking
this.
about this. I like the top 5 video or movie rather on Netflix. It has something to do with like gut health. I forget the name of it, but they talk about gut diversity. Like you need to eat different things to have
Sure.
the best gut biome, so to speak. But then I also thought like, well, there's the old trope that like you're better off eating like what your ancestors probably ate.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
ancestral eating.
So I'm like curious for you guys. What do you think your perfect cuisine would be for your perfect butt guy?
Honestly,
Gut
I
biome.
think it's different for everybody. Like I think we've proven that. Like some people do better on a vegetarian diet. Like it just works for them. For me, I feel best when I don't eat a lot of sugar and drink mostly water. I've gotten back to the don't eat a lot of sugar, and I'm trying to get back to drinking more water. But right now, I'm drinking too much beer and too much
So where's your
diet ginger ale.
Where's your ancestry from then? Are you?
I'm all 4 corners of Europe.
Okay, so is there like, would you digest sheep maybe better than somebody else who's not from that region?
That's possible. I honestly
find
don't know
out.
the real answer to
Yeah,
that.
we'll bring. it
I know I
every-
do best when I eat a high beef diet. Like when I eat a lot of steaks, I feel best. I have the most energy. It's just that, it's easier to cook a bunch of sausage ahead of time and then just
devour.
warm them up. Yeah.
for sure.
Well.
What about you, Austin? What do you like to eat? What's the best for you? Nothing. You're just trying to figure it out still.
The best thing to eat by far is pizza. Now, do I physically feel the best and mentally? Probably not. I
think-
mean, I feel a lot better not having literally not eating carbs for the past 2 weeks. It's hard to do that, but I don't know. I still don't feel good because of other stuff that we'll see. If I can fix the rest of me and I can feel like kind of how I do based off of the meat, I would say eating just meat. But I'm not just eating like one thing. I'm eating burgers. I'm eating steak. I'm eating pork loin, pulled pork. I haven't ate a lot of chicken, but I got like 5 pounds of chicken waiting to be cooked in the fridge at home.
So speaking of pork butts, Austin walked by me this morning with 6 pork butts, and I stopped him. I'm like, "Whoa, what are you doing? Like, what are you up to here?"
I thought he was gonna steal them or beat me up, and
turns out
take my lunch money.
He wanted to make pork butts he wanted to make pulled pork. And I've been wanting to get some cell phone footage of injecting and rubbing and stuff like that. So I've got some butter flavored roast beef pump that we're going to use to pump all of his pork butts to 10%. And then because he's trying to be good with very low sugar and very low garlic, we have the signature pork rub that we're going to use on the outside of it. We're not going to over season it because the number one ingredient is kosher salt, but then it's just got spices, including dill and pepper. And then the last ingredient is dehydrated garlic. So we're going to make that. I'll inject it after this podcast, and then we will rub it tomorrow morning and get it in the smoker first thing. Because even with
why don't you rub it and let it sit overnight?
I don't like that.
You don't?
No, I've done that before. It just doesn't seem to work as well. It doesn't seem to adhere as well. So
to be honest, I always do it, but I always use smokehouse barbecue.
Right.
And I don't want to do that because it's sugar.
All sugar.
But,
well, not all sugar.
I just cake it on until it doesn't take anymore.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, I mean, it is like it's stuck on. It's great. But that's also sugar instead of particulate and salt.
Yeah, and kosher salt. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll do some social media stuff on that. Okay. Other thought I had is we should do a cook-off again. Should pick a protein and an ingredient.
Those were always like not super highly viewed videos, but they were some of people's favorites.
That was also like 6 years ago. I think it was the last time we did one. So we might be able to get more people to watch it now.
The last one we did, Allie was probably still working here.
There she was. That was the one I won. It was grilled cheese, and we never did another one.
Wait.
So I still have the belt.
Won one?
Yeah, I still have the belt.
I'm pretty sure I was.
I remember going and picking out.
Lead.
You were. Okay. I remember going, but a lot has changed since then. I remember going and picking out the cheese and me mocking your cheese choices and just being like, I've won. Like, he had terrible cheese.
Did you really win the grilled cheese one though? I'm gonna go back and watch that video now.
Won that one. So we should do that. So we'll open up a Meatgistics thread asking people what protein we should use, and then we'll figure out because we used to have to use pineapple, have to use whatever. So we'll find something that we have to throw in once we have the protein.
Okay. I think we need to change the rules. And in the past, when we first did them, we let everybody vote.
You don't want to let everybody.
We should let everybody sample and try.
Yeah.
Try to make enough for everybody. But we should do like a jury selections type of deal where we each pick people.
Argue off.
But like you get 3 vetoes, I get 3 vetoes, and we have to fill a panel of 5 or 7. I don't know.
Okay.
Not 11.
Sure.
But
yeah, we could do something like that.
That could be fun.
Okay.
That is probably a whole podcast episode.
That's just the preparation for its multiple podcast episodes, but we can get that figured out. All right, so we'll do that. And then Allie is back. Allie, yell hi.
Hello.
So people who've been with us a long time will remember Allie. She used to work here like 6 years ago, 6 years ago. Yeah, 6 years ago or so. She's been in Tennessee. She is back with Walton's where she belongs now. Please, we're trying not to make fun of her little affectation accent from Tennessee. It's ridiculous. I hung around a lot of East Tennesseans for a while. So we'll get that out of her. Don't worry about it.
I would say let's not. But on the other hand, I make fun of the way you say things from New York or whatever.
Yeah.
So probably gonna make fun of her too.
We should.
Yeah.
Yes. But we don't want you to do it.
Documentary.
You listeners shouldn't be making fun of her. That wouldn't be nice.
By chance, did you reach out to any of your family last night to find out about the crick or crink?
I did not. There's I was actually busy last night. But yeah, no, that will be just the next time I talk to them and I think about it. Okay. So I didn't have time. All right. Anything else before we move on to Meat Matters?
Nope.
Okay. Breaking. Despite CPW claims depredation has ceased, 2 more cattle killed in Grand County. This is from Colorado. These are the wolves that were re-released. We have 2 stories on it. This is the first one. A yearling and a heifer were killed in Grand County over the weekend, with evidence both died from wolf attacks, despite claims by Colorado Parks and Wildlife official that the agency's non-lethal efforts to stop the killing have ceased depredation. The heifer, a young female that has not yet calved, was on the same ranch that lost 4 yearlings about 10 days ago. So that's 6 off one ranch in 10 days.
Man, that's brutal. That's
Get them indoors. What are we doing?
Bring all the cows in.
Come on.
The wolves are coming.
They hate these cows. They
Stay away from these cows.
keep eating all the cows.
I don't even think he knew what he was doing there. They
No,
hate these cows.
I know
You did.
doing.
Okay.
Yeah, Steve Martin.
Nice.
I was gonna say, as much as you guys like harass me or get upset when I don't know movie things, if you don't know that one,
Yeah,
that's
a bad one.
That's even bad on my standards.
It's a bad one not to know. So this is all the part of the confrontation going on in some of these what were previously rural states, Colorado, Wyoming, where more people are moving into the big cities, and then voting for policies that affect people out in the countryside. This being one that's gotten a lot of attention recently because of the potential for not only human interactions, but also livestock interactions, and it's clearly having an effect. Now, if we move on to the next story, it's small ranching community tears itself apart as newly released wolves butcher staggering number of cattle in just days. So this is about the same story, but a small ranching community in Colorado has torn itself apart as newly released wolves have butchered an astonishing amount of cattle in just days. So it's literally the first sentence is the exact title of the article. I probably could have just skipped that. Conway Farrell, a rancher from Grand County, about 30 minutes outside of the Rocky Mountains, said his father discovered a dead calf on Sunday, the 5th cattle they lost in 11 days. Yeah, I'm peed off. Everybody up here is getting edgy and at our wits' end, he told the Coloradan. It feels like you're getting slapped in the face every freaking minute. So he goes on to talk at great length about how the state is refusing to help them with any information on which of the wolves it was, or where those wolves currently are. They've actually set up trail cams on their own to try to determine which of the wolves are the actual problem ones. They've given that information to the state, and the state still won't do anything about it. They're saying that their non-lethal steps have stopped the depredation, and then right after they say that, 2 more are dead.
Make an example out of that wolf so the other wolves won't keep eating.
Or just grab all the wolves and take them out. It's obviously not working.
I mean, a wolf is going to get hungry at some point, and the path of least resistance to a meal is a nice juicy cow. Like, it just makes sense. I don't get it. If people want wolves, on one hand, okay, fine, let it happen. But then if you're a rancher, you have to let the ranchers protect the herd. Like, if it was me, I probably shouldn't say this. I would put the thing down without any question and just claim self-defense and say it charged me.
It came at my garbage.
I thought you were going to say and just not say anything about it because they'll have radio collars on.
Remember when he said he'd kill that dog?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
so his standard for killing
Austin wants to kill a dog if it attacks his garbage.
He goes, I think I need to take
garbage.
Repeatedly, like if a dog repeatedly was like knocking over your garbage can and getting into it and stringing stuff out.
We've got Christy Nome over
outside,
here.
And it was there, I would put it down.
Oh, I'm just saying it's so funny. Then he's like, listen, if a wolf is attacking my herd, finally he's like, I'm going to have to shoot. I'm like, wait a minute. It's the same photo.
But you do know that these are all radio collared and the state knows where they are at all times. So if you kill it, you have to deal with it right then. Like, hey, it was attacking me or something. Okay.
I'm not stupid.
Now, there is real thoughts that they're about to cross.
Maybe shoot myself in the arm and say the wolf shot me.
It got me. Throw out an extra gun at it, like a dirty cop. Like, oh, he had it. There's real concern that they're about to cross the border into Wyoming, and Wyoming, where it borders with Colorado, is the entire way. Like the entire border is part of this. Like 85% of Colorado is predator something site where You can kill any predator you see on site, regardless of the time of year. It doesn't matter. So they have people up at the border, like waiting for those wolves to cross to handle that problem.
Send that acorn cop up there. He'll take care of it. He'll just start pop, 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 pop.
Yeah, no, I mean, a wolf is an absolute apex predator. Like, let's not kid ourselves. These are not dogs. My 220-pound dog is not one of these. Like, these things are, they're going to take down what they want to take down.
They're aggressive by nature.
Yep.
Like, your dog is friendly by nature. He can still get.
I don't know that I'd call him friendly by nature.
He's always been friendly to me.
You met him once when he was tiny.
No, there's been multiple times.
Are you thinking of Riggins?
No, the big one, Brutus. There was one time recently where he was outside. I was with him. This was the last time we went golfing, so it's been a while. I was outside alone with him, and he was fine.
I was surprised by that.
It was but I've done that. I want to say
a couple times.
Another time,
yeah,
and then I've been with you at your house a couple other times when he was just there, but with you. But I've been alone with him alone for like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
he's fine.
Yeah, maybe I just need to trust him on like when he's being aggressive to somebody. Maybe he's just more clued in.
I don't know what dogs get, but some animals are just like naturally like more scared. Some people friendly with others. Animals are. I don't know. I'm friendly to animals.
Sure.
Animals typically like me.
First time he met Andrew Flippin, like as soon as we were all outside, as soon as he saw him, I'm like, all right, we have no problems, because Bruce was wagging his tail and wanted to get to him real bad, like in an excited way. This last time, Flip came over Saturday. I had Bruce on the back deck. I went and let Flip in from to the front door, and I looked out in the back door, and Bruce just standing by, like no smile, no nothing, just staring. I was like, we might have a little problem here. I opened the door, and he just tried to bull rush right by me. Like I was holding him. He got away and chased Flip around my island. I was like, no, you need to move. I'm like, come over here behind me.
That's
he ended up being fine with him, but he was like, why are you in my house? I did not say you could come in here.
So long story short, even if your dog was not like friendly, even somewhat like aggressive, I would still classify that as friendly compared to what a wolf is.
Sure. If you see a stray dog in the woods, you'd be like, oh, it's a dog. Do you think it's friendly or not? If you see a wolf, you're like, which tree am I going to climb? Because, it's a different thing. But okay. U.S. to test ground beef in states with bird flu. They're testing for, obviously, outbreaks of avian flu. The U.S. government said on Monday it's collecting samples of ground beef from retail stores in states with outbreaks of bird flu in dairy cows for testing, but remains confident the meat supply is safe. Federal officials are seeking to verify the safety of milk and meat after confirming the H5N1 virus in 34 dairy cattle herds in 9 states since March and 1 person in Texas. Both the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention and the WHO have said their overall public health risk is low, but is higher for those with exposure to infected animals. The number of articles I see on this right now makes me think this is going to be like the next
COVID round 2.
Yeah, the next push. Next thing that they tell us all we have to be scared of.
I hope not, because this
we
one
get $600 again or whatever. $600-800. Hold on, guys. That's not real. You guys are making big decisions for me.
You're looking at this the wrong way.
Yeah, chill out.
That sounds horrible, but that was one good thing about COVID is how many times? 2 or 3 times we got checks.
A lot of new hobbies started.
That's true. Right? A lot of those were meat processing.
We definitely benefit from that. There was a lot of guys that were like, dude, the government just gave me a new grinder.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
that wasn't the worst thing in the world for us, but I would prefer not to go through that again. Thank you very much.
I have a feeling that if bird flu actually became a pandemic, the death rates would be
in trouble.
A lot.
Yeah, we won't be laughing.
It would not be like COVID. It would be 10 times worse.
Oh no, I think they said it's like a 30% mortality rate.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be. I mean, just look at what did we say? They killed 12 million chickens and turkeys in the last year, just trying to stop the spread of this. It's extremely contagious amongst animals. And if it does somehow like actually become as contagious in humans, we are in a lot of trouble. So while we laugh about it, it's not funny.
Yeah.
So, all right. McDonald's looking to beef up with a larger burger. I want to be like indignant about this, but there's 0% chance I'm not trying that as soon as I see it on a menu.
The bigger, it's
bigger.
Like it's not a double. They're not going, hey, we're going double the meat. We're going just a bigger patty, a bigger single patty.
We're going with, yes, a bigger overall burger.
What do we got?
And as soon as it comes out, I am absolutely moving towards it.
Do we have any more details? I mean,
we really don't.
How much weight?
It says they're going to try and move this initiative at over 80% of their local McDonald's. So we should start seeing it. So it's the Big Mac and the Quarter Pounder are both getting a bump in the size of them.
Whoa. Okay.
Timeout.
How are we going to make the Quarter Pounder bigger? That makes no sense. It's a Quarter Pounder.
Well,
it's
was
supposed to be a Quarter
It will
Pounder.
still remain the Quarter Pounder.
Are they going to call it a Quarter Pounder?
Do you remember when
that's why they have a double Quarter Pounder?
Do you remember when the who was it? Burger King tried to advertise their third pounder and Americans didn't like it because they're like, no, the Quarter Pounder is bigger than the third pounder.
Oh my gosh.
We don't like fractions.
Yeah, I used to say third pound Angus beef. Yeah,
right. But they don't say that anymore. Yeah.
The burgers were like that.
Yep.
Because it had even like this different type of bun. It wasn't quite sesame seeds. There were something on. You're unlocking the fat guy.
Yep.
I mean, if you can't tell, I'm like I'm zoning out to a moment before I was even alive.
Do you smell it? Are you getting to the point where you can smell
like
it?
no, like it's funny. Like that was the order that I would get was that burger. So it's like go to Taco Bell now. Let me get the double dilla. They'll go look. Well, I don't know what the heck that is, buddy. It's just like it's a double steak quesadilla.
You know what
with
that is.
Chips, and it comes in a single box. You just don't serve it. So
You tell them stop trying to make me feel fat.
yeah.
Meet the Men Who Eat Meat. This is from the New York Times. We're not even going to really talk about it. It was the New York Times, so it's obviously has a anti-meat eating slant.
And pictures.
It did have pictures.
They hate pictures on the New York Times.
Oh, this one had pictures.
No, not the front page.
Okay. But they did actually include a fair number of quotes from who I consider to be like good sources on the lion diet, whatever you want to call it, the all meat diet. So I was kind of impressed by that. And the fact that we keep hearing more and more and more and more about this, we know more people who are doing it, myself, Austin included. I think this could be something that actually starts taking off. I think people might finally be waking up to the real enemy isn't fat, it's sugar, it's carbs, it's all this processed food. Don't worry about your fat consumption as long as they're, natural fats. We're not talking about polyunsaturated trans fats. Polysaturated?
Polly Pocket.
Where's Dylan when you need him? But yeah, no. So I really do think we're going to hear more and more about this, and I think it'll pay off in the long term.
When you say processed foods, do you consider like cured sausage to
I
be
do not.
processed foods?
Even though technically it is. No, I don't, because it's still the vast majority of it is just a meat product that I've added seasonings to it that I know what those are. Right. I'm not adding hydrogenated vegetable oil to it. I'm not adding all these other things to it.
I was going to say, what would typically qualify as a processed food? Because even though I think a lot of people would call cured meats processed foods, I do not, because it's still simple ingredients. You're cooking it. You mix stuff in and you cooked it. But what would actually,
like a Dorito, Oreos, like those are all like processed
it
foods.
was transformed, like something actually transformative about it.
Yeah, and we added ingredients to it specifically to make it something different, right?
Okay.
Also, I might change my mind depending on is sausage processed or not, depending if you buy it or make it your own. Probably not. Either way, I would probably see it as not. All right. China's pork imports collapse, down 33% from last year's first quarter on the imports of pork. It's interesting that Brazil replaced Spain as the number one importer into the country. So Spain's really struggling with this. And Brazil is a BRICS nation, and Spain is not. So BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China. What's the S? Wouldn't it be hilarious if the S was Spain? It's not. Saudi Arabia. So it's just interesting.
Wait, you did break without a K?
Yeah.
We're from America.
Maybe there is. You might be right. Maybe it was Kazakhstan. And also at the same time, we actually gained in the import market. So while China reduced their pork imports by 33%, we sent more pork to China.
Did they get
Interesting.
more chicken?
Did China get more chicken?
Yeah.
Chinese chicken?
What? Well, I'm just asking because like if one dipped, did the another protein increase?
I don't know. It didn't.
Well, come on.
The article didn't say that.
You have to be an investigative journalist.
I don't think I was going to go look for that.
Why don't you prompt me with ideas and then I'll do the legwork?
But here's also a somewhat tied in story: is increased pork demand raises U.S. hog prices. So we're sending more over to China while our hog prices are rising here. I mean, the nice thing about pork over the last 20 years has been that it's maintained itself as a relatively inexpensive protein.
Compared to the price fluctuations elsewise, the pork butts I bought were $2.19 a pound.
Yeah. And we were always
boneless too. So
I mean, yeah, that's actually pretty good for boneless. I mean, when they were like $1.69 a pound a couple of years ago, that was like, oh, this is a really good price. So the fact that it's only gone up to $2.19, that's not bad.
Actually, I also bought boneless pork chops, just sliced up pork loin. Normally,
You would do that yourself.
I buy the pork loin,
Right.
but the pork loin was only like 40 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents less a pound.
Okay.
Than the cut up chops, and I was like, screw it. That's an X for what was there. I was like, that's what I bought. I was like, that's $1.50, $2. I'm like, I will just buy the one already cut up.
Yep.
But as long as pork prices are low, I continue to buy more just because it's easier to do. It's a whole lot cheaper than chicken. I bought some chicken just so I have chicken. But chicken prices
have gone.
Still, I keep looking. I'm like, I'm gonna find like a good deal on some thigh meat or something and buy a lot. And I have not. I just haven't run across a good deal yet. Thigh meat's even more expensive than pork has been.
Well, I mean, think about it. We just talked about the fact that 12 million turkeys and chickens have been killed in the last 10 or whatever months due to the avian flu. Of course, we're going to see some price increase at least.
The only thing I've seen lower on chicken is like drumsticks. Drumsticks are cheaper, but those are always dirt cheap.
Usually. Yeah. All right, moving on to wild card. Great Pyrenees herding goat stops car, then driver hears an animal crying. It's worth watching the video. Make sure it's muted because this goat crying is the most annoying noise of all time. But it is, I think that's not it. You have to scroll down.
We
It's
each
that.
get to try a goat crying voice, then we add it to it. Right?
That's mine. Oh, Patrick's is better. Austin?
I'm not going.
Austin is self-selecting out. He's not going to do this. So what's going on here is this couple is driving down the road. All of a sudden they start seeing you jumped ahead, but the Great Pyrenees literally sits in front of the car. It's like, nope, I need your help. Get out of the car and come help me. And they follow the Great Pyrenees and they find just let it play here. It'll be there in a second.
So it's like the most
where is it?
terrifying version of Lassie of all time.
The Great Pyrenees are awesome dogs. So the Great Pyrenees is freaking out here too as they get closer to it. But I mean, it's really stuck in there. It's not getting out. So the couple is able to lift it out, get the goat out of I mean, hanging in a tree is a little sensational. Its arm is stuck in a tree and it wouldn't have been able to get out. So they get it out. And it's a pretty heartwarming story. Great Pyrenees are awesome dogs.
I've seen a few of them, like riding ATVs out in Colorado and Wyoming. You start crossing BLM ground, and people will, they can rent it to run cattle, sheep, goats, whatever. Right. And it's one of the coolest things. I love running across like the random pack of sheep or goats out there, and a Great Pyrenees just sitting watching them, and you're like, kind of wish something would happen.
Yeah,
and
see how they
off
react.
and take after something because they're there to protect their animals. They think that's like their stuff.
Yeah, that's another like I like to think there is no real fight in America against different states. It's really just a rural versus urban lifestyle difference. Like you see these urban people responding to posts by people on Instagram or whatever that show their livestock guardian dogs. Like that animal should be inside. It's raining. That animal doesn't want to come inside. That animal wants to be out there because its entire purpose is, where's a coyote? Where's a coyote? Where's a coyote? Like that's what it wants to do. It's not going to be happy inside. So I don't even remember why I said that really. But that gave me a good little serotonin hit for the day. Giraffe injures Michigan animal park worker. Just a reminder that giraffes can be fairly vicious animals. If everyone remembers when people were talking about not Cecil the lion. What was the black giraffe? It was that rare black giraffe that somebody shot. It was like 2 years ago. The reason they killed that is because that giraffe was going around and killing all the young giraffes so that it could have all the female giraffes to itself. They're a wild animal and they can be very vicious.
I thought giraffes were always really nice because that's why they let you like go up and feed them at the zoo.
So they can be docile. But like out in the wild, have you ever seen giraffes fight? They stand like we are now. They'll put their legs like almost intertwined. And all they do is they take their head, they put it all the way up, and they just like slingshot it down into each other. They use their heads as battering rams and their necks as like levers, and they just whack.
They used to have killer prices on electronics growing up. Those Toys R Us fans out there. So.
All right, South Dakota Animal Rescue says no dog is untrainable after Kristi Noem's shocking admission. Are you aware of this? This is why I called you.
This was 2 decades ago.
This is why I called you Kristi Noem. All right. So Kristi Noem, she's the governor of South Dakota. She released a book. In that book, she tells a story about the fact that she killed one of her dogs
20 years ago
because it was not trainable.
Now she's using that to say she can make tough decisions. Pivot. Now, Austin, what do you have to say about that?
I have a conspiracy theory about this. Huge surprise.
I don't know. It gets into a tough and sticky area because, my personal opinion is that animals are not on the same playing field as humans.
Of course not.
And so if you trying to teach my kids this too, because they're when we're outside, they've done it like twice this week or last week where they see like an animal of sorts and they're like, let's kill it. And I'm like, no, I'm like, that animal is still a part of God's creation. We're going to take care of it. We're going to be nice to it. I was like, if it's going to hurt you, you can kill it.
Sure.
If it's a bee coming after you, wasp, kill it. If it's like one of them was a caterpillar.
Okay.
I was like, caterpillar's not going to hurt you.
Right.
Let's be nice. Let's take care of it.
then you can kill it.
But if it's something that's causing problems, I don't have an issue with stopping the problem.
Sure.
But if it's just a dog that wasn't able to hunt, you kind of need in my opinion, need a better reason.
She said it got
than
biting.
that.
Yeah. No.
He's leaving out information.
To be fair, I was going to bring that up. To be fair, she said it bit a couple people.
Okay, if it bit a couple people, then let's put it down.
14
we're fine.
I would say let's give it to somebody else who can actually train
Short
it.
hair. I think it's a very popular hunting dog, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Right?
Regardless of that, my theory is she thinks that Trump's going to pick her as her running mate, and she doesn't want to do it. And she doesn't want all of Trump supporters mad at her. So she put this out to poison her own well, where he's like, I can't pick the dog killer. And now she gets left alone and gets to stay in South Dakota.
That's funny.
That's my conspiracy theory. And then last one, just because we didn't have a different shark one, Gobsmacked. God, I always thought that was Godsmacked. Gobsmacked mom films great white shark off UK coast. So it's just a video. All you're going to see is a tiny little fin going through because it's way out there. But it does look like a great white fin. And it was always said that there weren't great whites in off the UK. And over the last couple of years, opinions of that have started to change. That would be a fairly big deal if they started getting a resident population of great whites over there. Further proof that the animal has fully recovered, needs to be removed from the endangered species list, and we should be able to hunt and fish for them again.
I'll wait for the Pixar movie, dude. A shark with a British accent. Bring it on, dude.
No, you joke about that, but they're going to do that, and then that's going to change public sentiment. People will be like, you can't kill Nigel.
Nice. You named it. It's over, dude. It's over.
Can't kill Bambi.
Right. You absolutely can't
kill
Bambi.
But her mother. Bang, wow, baby.
Bang.
It's over.
Get it.
Boom.
Is the water warm enough up there?
Or they like cold water.
They like cold water?
Yeah, it's always surprising. Like for years and years and years, like Florida was always considered safe from great whites, the Caribbean, all of that, because it gets too warm for them. And then they kind of realize like, no, they go everywhere. Like they'll catch them off the coast of Hawaii. But yeah, no, the like up and down the northeast coast and in the colder water areas off of California, we're always like hey, these are the danger spots for great whites.
Interesting.
So yeah, they do better in cold water.
Okay. I'm going to Florida in a few weeks. So
what?
I'll just remember that I'm safe and I'll spend as much time in the water as I can.
Florida is known as the shark attack capital of the world, and I'm not even joking about
I thought
that.
it was Australia or something.
No, Australia has the most great white attacks and the most consumption attacks, but just like number of people attacked each year by sharks is always Florida. Now, that makes kind of sense. Think about all the coastline
There's a
it has.
lot,
Like the whole
man.
state is coastline. So it makes sense, but be careful, please.
Yeah.
Make smart decisions.
I will.
Okay.
I'm to be honest, I'm not a huge water person.
Good.
I just want to lay on the beach.
There you go. Safe up there. Cool. All right. I got nothing else.
That's it.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for checking out the Meatgistics podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltons.com. To get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgistics.com. Waltons, everything but the meat.